I have a
But the
question.
wedding,
Was that press corps specifically waiting for you and Mike? I mean, did they know, oh, it's him, it's the teacher of the year? I mean, were they waiting for you, or were they just generally waiting to photograph gay couples getting married? Or was
they
it a little
were
bit of
there.
both?
I believe that, well, the Oregonian assigned the two people to us, so they followed us the whole day. The other channels were there interviewing people, and when they saw it was me, they pushed their way into the room and just said, this is important,
It's
and
him.
we're not going to leave.
It's him. Get him married. They really wanted it. Okay, I get it. I see. Well, I mean, looking at Wikipedia, it describes it as, and this is kind of hilarious, I'm sure you've seen this, the Oregonian, Oregon's largest news agency, ran 40 pictures and a video of the full ceremony online. So that's a full spread, man, 40 pictures and a video streaming on their website. That's a full court press.
And mind you, I was under an order that I was not allowed to speak that day unless the district had approved what I said in advance, and that includes my wedding vows. The public statement with the press there. I'm standing there doing I've watched the video since, and you can't see that I'm in a sweaty panic, but as I'm standing there and I realize, well, the press is not going to leave. They're here. This is going to be all over, and when I go back to work, it's going to be even worse because they've ordered me not to do anything like this. And at the same time, this is a message being sent to gay youth all over the country. You can get married, you can be an award-winning teacher, you can have a beautiful future, and I couldn't not go through with it. I had to step up again, the same as when I made my statement about teen suicide at the White House. LGBT youth are killing themselves at a terrible rate, and anything a gay person can do to show LGBT youth to hang in there, that there's a beautiful future out there, is necessary. And at that point, I just said, well, I'm on a wild ride, and I'm just going to hold on, and here we go, because I was not going to step down. I was not going to leave and go get married at a different time and a different date somewhere else to keep my school district happy.
So the day that should have been the happiest day of your life, you knew that there would be consequences and fallout. That's really powerful, Brett.
Well, one of my favorite things about my time as Teacher of the Year was at the White House following the ceremony. The White House press corps is there, and they interview the teachers. They we're supposed to make statements and advocate and speak. That's our job. And I knew that I was under that order not to say I was gay, and I went ahead and stepped up to the microphone, and I made a statement about LGBT youth and the rates of suicide and how these anti-gay laws are damaging our young people. And I knew when I did it that I was basically going to war with my boss and my district. I made that choice myself. But later that afternoon, the Teacher of the Year from Idaho came up to me, and I may choke up when I tell this because it's emotional to me, but he said, when you stepped up and made that statement, that was the most important thing I've ever seen in my life. And
wow.
And he said it was the best part of everything that had just happened. And I looked at him and I said, Jamie, you just met the President of the United States. And he looked me right in the eye and said, this was more important than that. So, sorry, I'm a little choked up now, but
no, but I want to ask you about LGBT youth, because this has been your passion as an educator, and I know you're 100% all in, and this is, to this very day, such a tremendous issue with the homelessness and the disparity and the suicides, and we have these wonderful resources out there like the Trevor Project. So I want to just get your direct input on that. Do you feel that there's a great amount of effectiveness with organizations like It Gets Better and the Trevor Project, and that they're making those connections with youth, or how much more work do we in this country need to do to help our LGBT youth?
Well, 30% of all teen suicides are by LGBT youth. The number for trans kids is even higher. It's frightening. If I was the parent of a transgender youth, I would live in terror when I saw the suicide rates of those kids. When I was 15 years old, my best friend had been dating a girl. He came to me and said they had broken up. He didn't understand women. He was never going to date women again, that they were not for him. He went home and he killed himself. And that was when I was 15. And from 15 to 52, where I'm at now, was a lifetime of not blaming myself, but wishing that I had done more to support him at that time. And I saw being Oregon's Teacher of the Year and openly gay as that chance to reach out to our LGBT youth. I was named Teacher of the Year just within a few weeks of that young man in LeGrand who killed himself, and whose father decided to walk across country to bring attention to bullying of gay kids. I don't know if you remember, but the dad got run over on the side of the road in Colorado. And my first call as Teacher of the Year was to that family, to offer them anything I could do to make it better for them, but also to try to stop this from happening with other kids. And that is why when my district told me they were not going to allow me to support LGBT youth, I decided that those youth were more important than my career and my job. And it was certainly more important than those people's opinions at MESD, because they had no right whatsoever to say gay youth has no value to that district or any other district.
No, and that's such an important issue. So clearly with what happened in your school district and everything, they were not on the side of the LGBT youth. From what you know, nationwide in this country, is there a huge disparity between public education schools and treatment of LGBT youth? What are your direct thoughts on what needs to happen in the education world and in that space to help them?
Well, aside from the bullying of our LGBT youth, the Badass Teachers Association did a poll of 35,000 teachers and found that I believe over 50% of the LGBT teachers had been bullied in school by their supervisors. And I'm one of those 35,000 for sure.
Yeah.
So there is a problem across the country, and there does need to be more conversations about it. Absolutely. And when we look at the statistics of the kids, that should be enough to seal it right there. And when it's 30% of all teen suicides are LGBT youth, those are the kids who said they were gay before they killed themselves. How many more of those kids that are killing themselves never told anyone? My friend only told me, so he would not be one of those statistics. He would just be a suicide. But I believe that 30% number is probably more than double of what it truly is. I believe the younger generation of gay people are being confronted constantly by anti-gay laws, especially in the South, and that is pushing our kids to kill themselves at rates we've never seen before.
Very alarming, Brett, very alarming, and I agree with you on the statistics. So I want to talk about social media and the internet and how the entire landscape of how we communicate, exchange information, the visual imagery, everything that we take in, now has a digital platform. We've seen the rise of many LGBT YouTube stars in that whole social media space. Do you feel that social media is, in general, a positive influence on LGBT youth? Does it give them a platform for expression and a safe space? Does social media help or hurt?
I fear it's a wash. I fear that for all of the support and loving words and positive stories that the internet carries and social media carries, that there is an equal number of hate and nastiness being heaped on gay kids as well. And the fact that you have congresspeople talking about LGBT people as if they don't have the same rights as other human beings should show everybody right there. We have a lot of work to do. We have elected officials who run on platforms of hate and that they are better than another class of people. It's not acceptable. And if you take out the words LGBT or gay out of any of those statements and put in any other minority group, it would not be accepted. But it is accepted against gay people still, and that needs to stop.
Yeah, and in this, so we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary, of course, on the Supreme Court's historic when, same-sex marriage became the law of the land in Obergefell v. Hodges, but the fallout in the years since has been a state-by-state battle with several anti-LGBT and bathroom bills. We've seen it in this whirlwind, crazy 2016 presidential election, even quoting now ex-candidates like Ted Cruz, who tried to use the fear tactic, indicating that transgender going into a restroom, not of their assigned gender, or some type of sexual predator, which is absolutely false, is absolutely not supported by any of the data. That's their fear-mongering. And even the president came out and said the North Carolina bathroom bill is ridiculous and should be repealed. Do you have any direct thoughts? Do you have any direct thoughts on the particular whirlwind of hate legislation that's actually made its way through in the last year since Obergefell v. Hodges?
Absolutely. The trans bills, I don't understand them because for all of those issues that wrapped around the bathroom, there is the most simple fix in the entire world. I don't even feel it's not necessary to even discuss the trans issue relating to the bathroom. It's already been solved, and that's called a family-style bathroom. Now, it's got the label gender neutral, which it seems like every Republican in the South thinks gender neutral is wrong and discriminatory against other people. But here's the simple facts. I'm a special ed teacher with young ladies in wheelchairs that sometimes I have to go in the bathroom and pick them up and help move them because I'm the only one strong enough to do it. That means that we shut down the bathroom, I go in, I do the moving, I leave, they take care of business, then I go back in and I pick them back up and put them in their wheelchair. A family-style bathroom allows me the opportunity to go in and help a student. It allows a mother to help a son. It allows a father to help a daughter. It allows anybody with someone with special needs to go in and help that person. And it provides a place for people who are not comfortable going into the general population bathrooms. That could be a straight person who's uncomfortable standing at a urinal, and he can go use that bathroom. It could be a transgender person who just feels safer being in a bathroom by themselves. But that is an issue that's solved. You make gender-neutral bathrooms. If you're more comfortable calling them a family-style bathroom, that's absolutely fine. But there's no reason to even be talking about that on the level of using the bathroom because it's already solved. They're making an issue where there doesn't need to be one.
Can I ask you, what are some LGBTQIA organizations that you are either a member of or actively work with and work with directly?
Well, I'm pretty excited because this July, I've told you that from my situation came many opportunities. So July 8th, I'm giving a speech at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. about LGBT civil rights and the rights of our youth. The next day, I present at Howard University on how to support students who are being bullied. And at that time, I'll be presenting GLSEN and Trevor Project information. They're sending me things to have there available for every teacher who comes to take home with them. Cole Ledford is working with the Trevor Project and traveling around the country for his 50 Shades of Gay project. So I did an interview with him a couple days ago at Mount Tabor. I took him up to the music area, so we sat in the cone of an extinct volcano for our interview. But I see partnering up with those groups as necessary. So I have Howard University doing that, and then a couple days later I'm at the NSTOY conference in Chicago. And again, I'm presenting with the National Teacher of the Year, Shanna Peoples, and the Wisconsin Teacher of the Year, Jane McMahon. And we're going to be presenting anti-bullying strategies there as well. And again, sharing Trevor Project and GLSEN curriculums and support materials. I see what's happened is I've been given a very large platform to speak from, and I can either do that on my own or I can find all of the people that I feel are there for these youth and bring in a coalition. So anytime I speak, I feel like I'm standing at the front of an army.
That's incredible, Brett. We support all of those organizations, and we'd love to hear more when you are giving those speeches. So we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the fact that today is the California presidential primary. Got Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are competing. Donald Trump is already, of course, on the Republican side, considered the presumptive nominee, although I'm sure there's some people out there hoping for a miracle. Would you mind telling us about Hillary Clinton? What is your particular official capacity for Hillary Clinton at this time?
Well, I am a state delegate for Hillary Clinton in the running to go to the national convention. but I'd like to share why